Hello, this is Janet Michael. In addition to hosting The Valley Today each weekday at noon on the River 95.3, I also produce podcasts, and I'm excited to introduce you to a new podcast series in partnership with Lord Fairfax Community College. Having provided higher education and career training for the past half-century, LFCC is tightly interwoven into the fabric of the Northern Shenandoah Valley and Piedmont regions. Join me every week for conversations with current and former students to hear their funny and inspiring stories as we learn about their journey to higher education, the role that LFCC has played, where they are now, and where they plan to go. We'll also talk to current and former professors about their experiences and best memories of LFCC over the past 50 years. Get every single episode as they're released on our website at theriver953.com under the podcast tab, or you can subscribe for free in Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, on Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Just search for LFCC Stories. Hello and welcome to The Valley Today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday. You have made it through another week. Congratulations. I hope you can get out and enjoy yourself this weekend. We've got a little bit of a different kind of show on tap for you today. On Tuesday, this past Tuesday, I had the privilege of attending the ribbon cutting and dedication of the new Warren Memorial Hospital. It is located at 351 Valley Health Way, just off Leech Run Parkway. And after the dedication and ribbon cutting, Terri Mayes, who is their vice president at Warren Memorial Hospital and chief nursing officer, gave me a personal tour around the hospital, and I recorded it. So you are going to get to kind of follow along with me on the tour. We're going to cover several of the different pieces and places within Warren Memorial Hospital. There is a coordinating video of sorts that you can also watch. So if you want to listen to the show and then head over to the River 95.3's Facebook page, I stitched together some of the video and you can see what we were talking about as you're listening to the radio show today. But we're going to kick off now chatting with Terri Mayes. Again, she is the vice president at Warren Memorial Hospital and chief nursing officer. And this is our conversation during the tour of the new Warren Memorial Hospital. So Terri, thank you for taking some time for a personal tour of the new Warren Memorial Hospital today. I do so appreciate it.
It is my pleasure.
Now, I want to stop as you walk in the door because this beautiful wall here has a lot of artifacts, but it has the history of Warren Memorial Hospital. Tell me a little bit about this wall.
This wall is designed to tell a chronological story of the beginning, middle, and the to-date history of Warren Memorial Hospital. We wanted to share a little bit about where we've been, where we are, and then, of course, where we're going to next, and that's to occupy this beautiful new hospital.
I think it's a great idea because so often a lot of us think that history of a building or of something like the hospital starts at our first encounter with it. And we don't think about, like I'm looking at this 1949, we hear a lot about 1979. We hear a lot about what's going on in the 90s. This really is at the very, very beginning.
Absolutely. 1949 is when the ground was broken to build the current Warren Memorial Hospital that was established in 1951.
And I love that you've got these showcases here with artifacts. And you were telling me before we started recording that some of them are actual local artifacts, not just medical artifacts in and of themselves.
Absolutely. We have 3 showcases of artifacts donated by Dr. Tom Pattison, a former physician and member of our medical staff here at Warren Memorial Hospital. His generous donation has enabled us to be able to retain some of that history within our walls. One of the items that is particularly meaningful to us is the medical bag of the late Dr. Sherman, who practiced at Warren Memorial Hospital.
When you walk in the door, if you didn't know you were walking into a hospital, you wouldn't know you were walking into a hospital. It's so beautiful and light and airy.
Yes.
And I assume that's by design.
Absolutely, it is. All of healthcare is taking more of a proactive, preventative approach toward well-being. And so we all know that it's much less expensive and much better for individuals to prevent disease than it is to cure it or treat it after the fact. And so a lot of what you see on this campus is designed to promote wellness.
The view here is amazing. You wouldn't get that anywhere else.
No, absolutely not. We have one of the most beautiful views that you will find in a hospital anywhere. We're overlooking the Shenandoah Valley and the town of Front Royal, and it is just breathtaking.
And it's functional because when you walk in the door, the first thing that you come to is the pharmacy, which seems so easy to be able to park in the parking lot, run in, get what you need, and get back out without having to find your way around the actual building itself.
Absolutely. This is the first time that Warren Memorial has had a retail pharmacy on its campus. So we're very fortunate that we're going to have a program that not only serves the community at large, but in particular, it will be providing medications to our inpatients before discharge. So they don't have to leave after a hospital stay and head to the local pharmacy. They actually will have their meds delivered to them before they go, if they so choose.
So where do you want to go next?
The department that is actually going to be dedicated to sports medicine and focusing on preventing injuries and helping those, particularly athletes, to be able to perform at their maximum potential. So there's a lot of exercise equipment that you'll find in this facility that you won't find on our other campuses because of its intended use.
I spoke with Mary on a show a few months ago about what this new piece of the facility was going to look like. And she kind of gave me some insight into preventative medicine. And like you were saying earlier, how important that is to just not be injured or not be sick at all. The stuff that she's going to have in this room, and I know some of it is here now, is just going to be mind-blowing to especially student athletes that come in and people who are recovering from broken legs and just our regular run-of-the-mill injuries.
Now, how many stories have we heard about athletic injuries that persisted in causing problems to individuals long past the time of the injury? So if we can prevent those injuries or help them to recover more quickly, it's going to make a big difference in their quality of life.
So, Terri, where are we?
We are in the surgical services pre and post area, meaning that when a patient comes to Warren Memorial for surgery, they're going to come into this preoperative area where they're going to receive care from our care team and be made ready for transport into one of our operating room suites. Following that procedure, they're going to come back to one of these areas and be cared for again by our care team.
There are a lot of rooms.
There are a lot of rooms. What makes them different than what we have at our current site is that they are more multi-purpose than what you would have seen previously. This is a new direction that healthcare is taking in terms of making sure that the functional space is highly adaptable to what is needed in order to support the best patient care.
And it's just so upbeat. So I'll date myself here because I was born at Winchester Memorial Hospital, which probably by all intents and purposes is the same as Warren Memorial Hospital now. It was of that age by the time they built Winchester Medical Center. And I remember being a kid and having to go there. My grandmother was there before she passed, and it was the drab. It just was so depressing. And I'm walking through here and the beautiful blues and the grays and the light colored floors. It really is not your grandfather's hospital anymore.
No, it absolutely is not. And the use of sunlight is therapeutic, as I mentioned previously. And we are using color, we're using design, we're using equipment that is ergonomically designed to support optimal function. Everything that you see in this environment, from the building itself to the equipment, is all designed for a very modern healthcare experience.
Tell me about staff. What were some of their reactions walking into some of these places? Because I never have seen what pre or post-op looked like at Warren. Thankfully, knockwood, I've never even seen it at Winchester Medical Center.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything to compare it to. How excited are your staff for this?
That's hard to put into words because this has been such a tremendous opportunity for them. They are so looking forward to working in this new space. And as you know, our hospital is dated. It is older, and while Valley Health has made investments in our facility to try to bring it up to date. At the end of the day, you still have an old infrastructure and you can only do so much with that, which is then why we are now in this brand new facility. And so for our team, I've compared it to coming straight out of an episode of the Flintstones right into the Jetsons. It is, all in one fell swoop, because we're going from semi-private inpatient rooms to all private rooms. There are no semi-private rooms here anymore. We're going to where we had dedicated pre-surgical and post-surgical areas, where now we have these pre and post areas combined into one. So a lot of what you're seeing really is speaking to the more modern
and streamlined.
concept.
So much more streamlined.
Absolutely. Because nobody wants to spend more time in a health care facility than what they need to. We want our patients and families to be well supported, to have a great experience, but we also know that it's important to them to get back home to their families. They don't want to spend any more time with us than they have to. So we try to make our processes as efficient as possible, and this new design and this new facility enables us to do that.
So I understand now I'm going to get a sneak peek at an actual operating room.
Yes.
Let's go. We're going to take a quick break, so you're going to have to be in as much suspense about what the new operating room looked like as I was when we were heading in that direction last Tuesday when we recorded this conversation with Terri Mayes. Again, she is the vice president at Warren Memorial Hospital. She's also their chief nursing officer. When we come back, we're going to find out all about the new operating rooms, and we're going to learn about the patient rooms, and we're going to talk about the emergency department. Remember, the community open house is tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You no longer need to make a reservation. You don't have to reserve or register. Restrictions have lifted as such that those are no longer required. So you too can go do your own little tour of the new hospital tomorrow from 11 to 3. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes so I can finish my tour with you.
Got a financial decision to make or a goal to reach, but you don't know where to start? You've come to the right place. Introducing Quick Money Chats with the Northern Shenandoah Valley Financial Education Program. Visit tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat to schedule a virtual chat with a staff member or trained volunteer. We won't tell you what to do, but we will give you the tools you need to choose wisely. And because Virginia Cooperative Extension is part of Virginia Tech and Virginia State, your land-grant universities, you can be sure that our information is credible and trustworthy. And you'll know that we aren't trying to sell you something. Maybe you want to improve your credit score, or reduce your banking overdraft fees, or even figure out if you can afford to buy that car. Sorting through tons of information on the internet can be overwhelming, and sometimes it can be hard to know who to trust. Schedule a Quick Money Chat and get the information you need to take action. Go to tinyurl.com/quickmoneychat and get financial education personalized for you.
Welcome back to the Valley today. I am your host, Janet Michael. Happy Friday as you are listening to the show today. I feel like you can't say Happy Friday enough, especially when it's been a long, hot week. I don't know about you guys, but I have suffered through a long, hot week this week. And I am excited that we're going to wrap up our tour. So the show today is an audio tour that I took on Tuesday afternoon following the dedication and ribbon cutting of the new Warren Memorial Hospital. It is located at 351 Valley Health Way over off of the Leech Run Parkway. Terri Mayes, who is the vice president at Warren Memorial Hospital, she's their chief nursing officer, gave me a private tour of the hospital in the afternoon. In the first segment, we covered the entranceway. We talked about the physical therapy and sports performance department that is now in the new hospital, and we talked a little bit about the pre-op and post-op rooms. When we went to break, I was on my way to see the OR, which is quite an unusual opportunity because normally you can't just waltz into an operating room and say, hey, let me check this thing out. So that's where we're going to pick back up on the tour of the operating room. This is like the coolest thing I hope I never have to actually experience.
As you can see, everything in this operating room suite is brand new.
We were talking on the walk in here about how much larger these rooms are than what you have at the existing Warren Memorial facility. And I think a lot of times we all think, well, there's so much more technology now, so they don't need a bigger room. But this technology is huge.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Yes, and it takes up more room than what you think in order to be able to have those things available. And one of the things you'll see, this arm here actually swings so that we can move and position it differently. And so before, all of your gases would have been on the wall and on the wall only. Now you have access to oxygen and nitrogen and other medical gases on a movable pole within the operating room suite.
It looks like something out of Tony Stark's basement in Iron Man.
Yes.
But all in a really good way.
Yes, we just are missing the power suit.
I don't want a power suit. And this is unusual. I mean, we were talking too before we came in. Not anybody just gets to walk in. In another week or so, nobody's going to be able to just come, oh, can I take a peek inside your OR?
We have our community open house tomorrow, Saturday, June the 12th, from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I encourage our community to come on down, take a look at our new facility. This will be their last opportunity in terms of public viewing, and so we don't want them to miss that opportunity.
So do I have to register if I want to come to the open house tomorrow?
No, that's the really nice thing. With some of the restrictions related to the pandemic lifting, we are able to allow the community just to arrive and receive a tour to our new hospital.
And I think it's awesome because, quite frankly, if you have to come and be in one of these rooms, usually you're out by the time you get rolled in here, right?
Absolutely.
So you're still never going to get to see it, even if you're using it.
No, only if you come to work with us as a surgeon or an operating room nurse.
So where are we now, Terry?
We are on our medical surgical unit. So this is where we have 24 medical surgical beds. All of our rooms are private rooms. I can show you some of the features that are unique to War Memorial that you will not necessarily find somewhere else. So outside each room is a cabinet for the storage of PPE, also known as personal protective equipment.
Okay.
This has always been important with patients who might have infectious diseases. It's been particularly important during this COVID pandemic. And so having these supplies readily accessible in a very organized fashion is not only going to save time, but it's going to make it easier for not only our staff, but also for their families, because when a family member comes to visit a loved one and they have an infectious disease, they also need to wear the personal protective equipment. So these were designed by our acute care services director, Becky Myers, in conjunction with our construction project manager, Tim Supfin. She told him what it is that she needed, and he made it happen.
Nice.
So this is unique. Only War Memorial Hospital has these.
You've always been safe. You're a hospital. You've always had safety as your number one priority. But now I think we've learned in this pandemic, there's no such thing as too safe.
Yep.
And this just makes it so much easier, and it's going to amplify the quality of care.
Yes, and no looking for anything. You can immediately look at it and see whether all the supplies you need are there.
I need one of these for my kitchen. So I'm going to call Tim Sutphin and say, hey, I need something similar to what you did at the hospital in my pantry.
So you'll find in each of our rooms, we have a sink for ease of staff hand washing. That's new for us. That's an upgrade because the sinks in our current hospital rooms are located in the patient bathroom. So now we're not forced to use only the hand sanitizers. We have a soap and water option, which is optimal.
And it's great for visitors that are coming to see the patient that's in the room.
Absolutely. We have plenty of storage and a large bench for seating family members. So it's built in. We don't have to be concerned about, as within the case of chairs, the furniture being moved to another room and then we're having to locate chairs for the family to get comfortable in the room with their loved ones. We actually have the seating built in. We have plenty of storage for them to bring the things that they need to have from home. And we have very large, spacious bathrooms.
Walk-in showers.
Walk-in showers that also will accommodate large wheelchairs. Every room has a computer at the bedside so that the physician, nurse, and other healthcare providers are able to document the patient's care in real time as they're working with the patient.
You told me the last time we did the radio show, we were talking about and I know I'm going to get the name wrong, the My Chart.
My Chart Bedside.
That is in all of these rooms.
Yes. So My Chart Bedside actually is located on an iPad that is issued to a patient when they're admitted. And there's a channel that they can turn to on their television to see it in full screen size. And that will tell them who their nurse is, who their physician is, what tests are scheduled for the day, etc. It is the latest in technology when it comes to communicating with patients about the process of care.
And it's going to allow family members to also know when not to come because they're going to be having this test,
Yeah.
or see what's been done already and stay up to date on what's
Yeah.
going on with their loved ones.
Yep. Also, it would have information related to what they're allowed to eat or not eat, so they know nothing by mouth means that you can't make a run to McDonald's.
I'm going to have to figure out how to hack that if I ever come in so that it says only chocolate pudding. So that's all that anybody wants
There
to
you
feed
go.
me is chocolate pudding. And I love the clocks everywhere. I mean, that's one of those little things that you don't think anything of.
That was my request, because we never kept them synchronized before. And so every clock had a different time, and even if it's only 1 or 2 minutes, that matters.
It's still, yeah.
Yes, so all of these clocks in this facility are synchronized. And so we have the exact same time on the inpatient unit as we do in the emergency department. We're all on the same page.
Now, we're standing here at what I assume is one of the nurses' stations.
It
Because
is.
you've got them strategically located all around the L shape that this is. Or is it actually, we haven't walked all the way around, is it a U?
It goes completely around. We have nurses stations strategically placed because we want to make sure that the nurses are close to their patients. So you notice we have glass on the front of each of our doors, so that a nurse, if they need to keep an eye on a patient, they're able to work at the nurse's station and see through the glass directly to the patient. But we also have built-in blinds so that if the patient is being assisted with their bath, that we can allow for privacy.
We talked when we first started at the entrance about the view when you walk in the door. We're now standing in a patient room, and I didn't think the view could get any better, but oh my gosh, the view has gotten even better.
It is. Is that not therapeutic in itself?
It is fantastic. You can see RMA from here.
Yes, absolutely. The reality is that we sit up on enough of a hill or an incline that we actually see over the roads, and we see nothing but skyline and trees, and it's just beautiful.
And it's the little things that I would never have, as a regular person, would never think of from a logistical perspective. But like the beds are sitting up high enough that we're standing here at the window, we can see the road. But when you're in the bed, you're looking straight out, you're not seeing the road or anything.
No.
Those little things that you really put some thought into are just phenomenal to me, because it never would have occurred to me, but it's going to make a much better experience.
Yes, definitely.
So is this an inpatient gym?
Absolutely it is. And this is another first for us at War Memorial Hospital. This is our first inpatient gym. Our rehab staff is so excited to be able to have equipment in a room dedicated for physical and occupational therapy. So this is really exciting for us and our team.
Of course, it makes sense, but it's all on the same floor. I mean,
Yes.
you don't have to get in the elevators. You don't have to be rolled up a floor, down a floor, to a different building even.
Correct.
It's all right around the corner.
Yeah, and that's particularly important because we are seeking the Orthopedic Center of Excellence designation for our hospital. We've made application for that and expect to hear back later this year. And so we are purposefully wanting to serve orthopedic patients in terms of supporting them through surgery and rehab after the fact. So things like this are key to what we're trying to accomplish.
It's very smart, too, because we're an aging population. Warren County is an aging population. So it makes sense that you're looking ahead to being able to serve the patients you're not going to just have today, but that you're going to have in 5 years, 10 years, 25, or 30 years.
Absolutely.
So now we're standing in the emergency department, the crowning jewel for Dolores, who I spoke with last month. And now I see why she was so excited to tell me about this new place.
Well, most people that are familiar with our current emergency department are aware that we've been in very close quarters for quite some time with our 13-bed facility. But moving into the new location, we will now have 18 beds, which is significant in terms of being able to get patients in and treat them and discharge them in a timely manner. We also have 5 observation, or what we call clinical decision unit beds, where for those patients that they need a little more monitoring, but we're not convinced that they really need to be hospitalized. Instead of keeping them in an emergency department bed, we can move them to a more comfortable clinical decision unit bed and take a few more hours evaluating them to make sure that they're safe for discharge home.
I can't imagine the amount of training that has to go into a new building like this, because I would assume that in the old building, you mentioned earlier, you've done a lot of upgrades and you've tried to maintain it as best you can, but there are quirky little things that you have to do a certain way in an old building, and now everything is shiny and new. I assume you did run-throughs, and you had mock patients and the whole 9 yards.
We have done all of that. Our teams have been over here doing emergency preparedness drills. We actually spent 3 days in conjunction with Warren County Fire and Rescue, the Front Royal Police Department, and the Warren County Sheriff's Office, just practicing what we would do in the event of different emergencies, particularly if we had an active shooter. How would we respond to that? What if we had somebody trying to break into the hospital to see a family member when we were telling them, no, that you're not permitted in because of the pandemic? I mean, we've had our teams in here practicing with the new equipment, learning how to use that new equipment, because some of it is brand new and we didn't have it in our prior facility, so this is the first time. And we want to make sure that when we move into the facility, our staff are already comfortable with it.
And this department in particular is the emergency department. You don't have a lot of time to figure it out as you go. When you schedule a surgery, there's prep and you schedule around it and you make sure you have everything laid out and everything is good to go. Emergencies come walking in and they are just that, emergency. So you really do have to be on top of your game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our team is ready. We've been practicing, for the last couple of months, and they've practiced even their day-to-day workflows. Where will we pull this from? Where will we get this medication? Where will we get this supply, this equipment, et cetera? So they're ready to hit the ground running. They know what to do.
So what's it going to be like for them, do you think, when everything is open and full steam ahead on June 23rd and they have to walk away from the old building? I can't imagine the mindset of being excited to come to this new fabulous space, but at the same time looking back thinking, oh, I'm going to miss the old space.
Well, when you think about it, a building is really only as meaningful as the memories that take place in it. And it's our interaction with each other as professionals, it's our interaction with our patients and our community that provides the meaning. And so when you look to our former Warren Memorial Hospital, I equate it to leaving your childhood home. While you're ready for the new, the modern, the up-to-date facility, at the same time, there were a lot of memories made in that old facility, and it is somewhat emotional to leave that behind.
But now they're going to have trails. They're going to have all of these other things that, and they can still drive by the old place and say, hey, I used to work there, but now I work at this really cool new place.
Yes. None of us would want to turn back, but we want to acknowledge that there was a lot of good things that happened in that hospital, and we'll carry those memories with us.
So community open house is tomorrow from 11 to 3. You no longer need to make a reservation because restrictions have lifted somewhat. And the actual move is going to take place on June 23rd. And I don't think we can say enough. 6 a.m. on June 23rd. If you have an emergency and are transporting yourself to the hospital, come to this new facility. Do not go to the old emergency room.
Yes. At 351 Valley Health Way.
Yeah. I think we almost forgot to say the address because we all thought we knew where it was the last time. We're like, oh, yeah, we should probably tell you where the new hospital is. It makes perfect sense. Well, thank you. This has been a fantastic tour. I am so impressed.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Well, that's it for my tour of Warren Memorial Hospital. I want to give a quick shout out, of course, to Terri Mayes. She is vice president at Warren Memorial Hospital. She is also their chief nursing officer. She was very gracious to spend a couple of hours with me on Tuesday afternoon, giving me this private tour and kind of filling me in on the ins and the outs of the old versus the new. And if you have the opportunity to head over to the community open house tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. and wander around, have some guided tours of the hospital, I say head over there and have at it. It is quite the building, it is quite the view, and it is quite a bit of technology that I think is long overdue in the healthcare field in Warren County. So I will meet you back here on Monday. I've got a brand new episode of The Valley Today ready to go for you. It is Meet the Maker Monday. Carrie from Alt House Pottery in Berryville is going to join me for a conversation. So have a great weekend. Again, get over to the new hospital if you can, and I will meet you back here a few minutes after noon on Monday.